Hello members and welcome back to the channel. So this is a video I'm doing before unstaking, right? So a lot of people are staked into Wepe, right? And they are going to be able to unstake exactly at 2 p.m. UTC, right? So this video, I'm pre-releasing it for members only, and I'm only going to be making it public, right? After a little after 2 p.m. UTC, because I've been receiving a lot of questions about should I hold or should I sell? Like, what are the key facts, right? So we're going to be discussing the key facts into Wepe, and we can possibly see where things are going to be going from here, right? So let's jump straight and check the price. So you do see there's an upward price manipulation happening, right? So you do see, and most of this price manipulation is coming on the dolphins, like there are dolphin transactions that are just all of a sudden starting to buy, right? We see that these are tactics that the scammers do. So you do see here dolphins are any transactions between 3 and 10,000, right? So the last world transaction that we had, I think, was around a 35,000 sell, right? 35,000 sell, but we now do see that we do have a lot of dolphin transactions. And by the way, the other thing here is this price movement that you see is not indicative of the actual price point, because if you notice, just a 3,000 sell is pushing the price up. That means there is no liquidity, right? In the liquidity pool, the liquidity is not enough, right? Which means if there is even a 10,000 or a 20,000 buy or a sell, it can move the price point drastically, right? So you might think if you decide to sell right now, you're not actually selling at 3010, right? It may be 10% down to the current price point, right? That's the price that you're actually selling because of the volatility, right, that we are seeing here. So let's jump into the key facts, right? So by the way, we are now on stage 8 already. We saw stage 8 of the scam where it was 80%, right? We did see a couple of hours ago that we did reach that price point of 4073, right? That's 80% down. So already we've reached that price point. But is there going to be an upwards price manipulation? Already we're starting to see 32% up. Let's jump into the facts, right? So fact number one is the top 7 holders collectively bought over 2 million worth of Wepe, right? And they are not still holding right now, right? So this statement is not 100% accurate. So we need to just remove that. So because I did go and just do a check to see what is happening, right? So they bought 2 million worth of Wepe, right? So let's just go to the to just check what has happened. So I did go and I checked the top 5 wallets, right, that bought into Wepe, and the number 5 sold on the 17th, obviously, right? It is 63% loss, right? And number 4 with the wallet ending E69E sold at a 84% loss on the 24th, which is today, right? They sold at a 84% loss. And number 3, right? Number 3 did something interesting, right? Right on the 18th, right? They just did an approval for their Wepe to be traded on COW, right? So you see, this is the transaction, right? Coming from FDCC, right? They just did a transaction approval for Wepe to be traded on COW protocol, and then they went on COW, right? And they sold their Wepe. So we're not going to be able to see this transaction, right, into the onto Uniswap, right, onto DEX2s. You're not going to be able to see that specific wallet, right? So they did sell, right, on the 18th, right? It's around 50%, I believe, around 50% loss, right? And around 60, over 63%, by the way, over 63% loss. And if you check now, if you check number 2 and number 1, right, obviously they're still holding, right? And with number 1 specifically, right, number 1 staked their tokens. They bought and they staked, which is something that we never ever do, right? They bought and they staked, and today at 2 p.m. UTC, they will be unstaking, right? So will number 1 go and sell, right? Because if number 1 goes and sell, we're going to be seeing a drastic price drop, which now leads us to the key facts, right? So the largest holder who acquired 1.5 million worth of pre-sale has staked their tokens and will be able to unstake on the 24th. If they decide to sell, the token price could drop by 80%, right? And there's also a possibility, this is very important, There is a possibility that the scammers are waiting for major holders to sell so that they can pump the price and shift the blame onto sellers for not being patient, right? So they're just waiting for top holders to sell. So now we know that a lot of people are going to be unstaking today, right? So if you check all these transactions here, some of these people are still holding. These are top 50 transactions, by the way. Some are still holding, some have sold, right? But the scammers might be looking for that sweet spot number of sellers, top sellers, so that they can start to manipulate the price upwards and then now shift the blame to say, you sold, you were not patient, right? Which is not the case, because it's just a price manipulation, right? If everyone holds, the price is not going to pump, but if everyone sells, the scammers might manipulate the price upwards. Especially now, it's not going to be a difficult thing to do, looking at the high volatility and the lack of liquidity depth, right, within the pool, right? So if you look at number 4, if top holders continue to hold, scammers might not pump the price. But if they sell, there's a chance the price gets manipulated upwards. So we already see that quite a few of the top 5, 3 have already sold, right? 2 are still holding. Number 1, right, is still obviously stuck in staking, and they will be able to unstake, right? So right now we do see that there is a price manipulation upwards that is occurring. Why? Because the scammers know, right, they don't want it to look ridiculous for the people who are going to be unstaking, right? So they're just pumping the price up a little bit, right? And as soon as this thing unstakes, one thing guaranteed is a lot of people are going to sell. That's just something that we do know, right? And if you're trying to actually execute for those who are channel members, right? Obviously, I'm releasing this first to the members. If you're trying to do the strategy, right, the pre-sale strategy, for this one, I would not recommend you do the pre-sale strategy that we did discuss on one of the videos, right? For this one, that strategy only works on launch, right? That we discussed in one of the member videos, right? For this one, the 2x PBO pre-sale strategy. This won't work on on unstaking, right? You might want to do it, but it's a massive risk, right? It's the 2x PBO strategy only works at launch, right? So I would strongly recommend not to use the things that we did discuss in this video, right? So these are the key facts. The holder of 1.5 million will be able to unstake. And then now we already see a price manipulation upwards. How do we know? Now think about it. Who in their right mind would go and invest right now when you know at 2 p.m. UTC, a lot of people are going to be selling? It doesn't make any sense, right? So obviously it's the scammers who are pumping the price up, and we do see the AE1E scammer bot, right? The AE1E always buying and selling for a loss, bought for 6,000, sold for 2,000, and it's buying and selling for a loss. And we also do see some other wallets here, and we do see scammers here have been a little bit more clever, because they're now starting to use different wallets so that you can't track exactly what is going on. But it's just common sense, right? Who would buy right now when you know that staking is upcoming, right? So they want people to be able to sell. So I can't tell you whether you should now sell or you should hold, right? It's a cat and mouse game with the scammers, right? Scammers want people to sell, right? They want people to sell, but now we do see there's an upwards price movement that is coming up, right? They want people to sell, and then once they sell, then they start manipulating the price upwards, of which it has happened. We saw that 3 have sold, right? These are only 3 we have looked at. If we had gone all the way down to 20, right? So for example, let's just check this one, right, with the wallet. Let's check this one with the wallet. That's 20 ETH. Let's see if this one have sold. Let's check here. You see, they have not sold, right? But at the same time, it might not be the full picture, because you might need to actually check that maybe they used cow protocol, and maybe they claimed in stake, maybe they are stuck in staking. Let's just check, right? We're just going to be checking like random transactions to see what actually is going on, right? Because if once the launch happens, right, and you're going to be getting a lot of people who are going to be selling, right? So you do see here 4 days ago, so there was a claim. So obviously they did not stake, right? So this is Wepe, they claimed their tokens here. Let's check the transactions. There we go. That's Wepe. So they claimed their tokens on here, right? 273 million worth of Wepe, right? So that's where they did claim their tokens. And ERC20 tokens, let's check, right? So you can see here that, yeah, they're still holding, right? They're still holding. There it is, their claim is in, right? So they are actually still holding their tokens on here, right? So this is really going to be interesting. What exactly is going to be happening as soon as launch occurs, right? That's one thing that I'm definitely going to be watching. So should you buy, should you hold, or should you sell? Currently, we do see that there is price manipulation coming up, right? And how much is this price going to be manipulated by? And just remember, the key fact is, if you decide to sell, right, just calculate, at least add an additional 10%, right? It depends on how much you're even selling. Add a minus 10% from the current price point because of the high volatility that we are actually seeing right now, right? So I just wanted to do this video, right, to just share with you the key facts, and then you can make a more informed decision, right, in terms of whether you want to continue holding, right, or you are going to be selling, right? But most definitely, I believe the scammers might manipulate the price upwards, right? If a lot of people sell, then everyone is out, then they manipulate the price upwards. Why? So that some people even catch on, right? When the price is being manipulated upwards, a lot of people come in and start buying again. And guess what? The scammers will do? They will dump again on them, right? So this is something that we've seen through multiple projects that we have covered on the channel, right? We've seen these tricks into multiple projects that we have covered. So today, unstaking will be happening. So let me know, what is your strategy, right? If you're a member, you can just drop me an email, right, and let me know what is going to be your strategy onto this one, right? So another way of making money in crypto, right, before we close off, for those who are not members yet, right, is trading, right? Trading crypto is one of the key skills that you can gain of making money. And on the membership, as all members know, we have the 2x challenge, right? And a video drops every Friday, and last Friday we actually did invest into one of the tokens, right? So the 2x challenge shows you my thought process into picking tokens, evaluating tokens, ranking them, and then finally investing, right? And also the evaluation of all those tokens that we have. So you might want to join the membership if you're not yet, if you haven't joined yet the membership. The 2x challenge is a solid way of actually making money in crypto, right? Much safer than buying during a pre-sale, right? So this is my update for this one. Let me know what's your strategy, right? So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.